Yo, I can't lie, I've just been reading through this DDG declaration that he just done about Halle and their relationship. I said the name wrong again, it happens. But bro, I'm reading through it and it's looking long. Like the part I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm gonna read. I'm not gonna read through all this. This is like 91 pages long. But the part I've been reading, it's DDG is being mentally, emotionally, physically assaulted. Um, it's Haley using their child to manipulate DDG to force him to not do something that he wants to do. Apparently, try to end the relationship, but you know Haley used the legal tactics to essentially stay with DDG and hopefully work things out. Clearly, it didn't work out. I mean, look at them now. It's looking long. I mean, I already made a video reacting to Sean C's, you know, video on the title was a title something to do with hating women, and DDG was there, right? And it was about this very situation here. And now I'm out here reading on a DDG trying to do a domestic violence restraining order, which by the way got declined. Yes, it was declined. Which, yeah, long day. But I'm here like what relationship timeline and emotional coercion. I'm just gonna read some of this. I'm not gonna read everything, but if you want to read everything, I might just link this down below, and you guys can read it for yourselves. I'm just gonna go through a little bit of it. I'm gonna just start here. In early 2022, our relationship deteriorated after petitioner became verbally aggressive, largely due to her growing hostility related to my professional collaborations with other women and her fixation on my past relationships. During Grammy weekend in February 2022, petitioner became enraged over text messages between me and a previous girlfriend. An argument ensued wherein petitioner texted another man arranging to meet at 2 a.m. following a Grammy after party. However, my messages were platonic in nature. Sorry, although my messages were platonic in nature, petitioner fixated on them and retaliated by texting this other individual. Okay, so essentially she tried to get back. That's what she tried to get some get back. DDG apparently didn't do nothing with this person, and if something is telling me that this previous girlfriend was Ruby Rose 2022, something's telling me it was Ruby Rose. I'm not sure, but yeah, essentially at 2 a.m. What do you think she wants to do at 2 a.m.? She's trying to get back. She's trying to get dick down. That's what it is. Continuing, this marked the point at which I attempted to end our relationship. Despite my attempts to end the relationship, petitioner continued to contact and pursue me. Brother, at that point, block her, delete her number, change numbers, change address. If you got the bread, change address, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly, enough effort wasn't done because these men, after it says it right here, over time, her persistence elicited a sense of sympathy in me, which ultimately led to our reconciliation. They got back together. Like you tried to end the relationship somehow, you ended getting back together, and as it says here, it didn't work out. It did not work out. For me, if a person shows you who they are, but and in this case, Haley Bailey showed us who she is through videos. I've seen some of the videos. I couldn't tell you exactly what she said, but the things that she said, boy, there's no way I would get into a relationship with that. No, sir, not me. There's no way. Continuing, unfortunately, following our reunion, her behavior grew increasingly volatile, characterized by escalating verbal abuse and eventually physical aggression. And this apparently continued, by the way, like this was a continuous thing. Shortly thereafter, we reconciled, and despite our best intentions, the relationship continued to suffer because of petitioner's insecurity. Petitioner continued to accuse me of impropriety. Yeah, impropriety whenever I spent time in the studio or collaborated with female artists or content creators. Before I get into that, whoever wrote this, Lord, the vocabulary is incredible. Impropriety, elicited, which I know what elicited means, but impropriety, what does impropriety mean? I don't know what that means. I'm genuine, being dead serious. But continuing, time in studio or collaborated with female artists or content creators. That's the nature of DDG. Just DDG's jobs. He's a content. He's a YouTuber. He's a streamer, and he's a rapper. I mean, it happens. He's going to collab with female artists and female content creators. Halle Bailey is an R&B singer and a film artist, long day, and an actor. She also has moments where she enters in contact with male actors. It happens. That's the nature of her job. I don't know why DDG would have to understand that, and yet Hailey Bailey refuses to understand that at this point, according to this document. You know what I'm saying? That's just life. That's how it goes. Your jobs, the nature of your job is that you're going to interact with different actors, male or female, and sometimes, in this case, Haley's an actor. In this case, she's going to have, on-screen relations with those actors, and DDG is going to have relations with those female artists and content creators. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Shout out Tupac. Petitioner would initiate argument premised upon speculation and jealousy, her constant accusations having no basis in fact utterly destroyed my peace of mind and emotional calm. Okay, let me just skim past these parts here. Petitioner conduct slash interference with respect to my access and time spent with Halo is used to control me. Petitioner limits my ability to be a father to our son, particularly when I refuse to accede to her. Accede? Damn. Accede to her demands. Petitioner's obstruction is retaliatory and habitually occurs when I refuse to follow her petitioner's dictates. Petitioner will attempt to exert control over my streaming content, streaming associations, or my refuse to reconcile with her. This is another problem. You two are not together. Why are you still trying to dictate what DDG does? Can't you two just be friends and just raise your child without... Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Halle Berry, you're gonna do your own thing as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Apparently she was out there, wherever she was, with I forgot his name. But it was an artist. Brent Fires, that's his name. Apparently she was out there with him. She's saying that she insists saying that she didn't do anything, which I don't know. I'm just gonna take it at face value. But yo, you two are not together. I get it. Sometimes you have certain requests, but that doesn't mean you can force DDG to do something by essentially say, if you don't do this, you will not see your son, which is crazy. Like, this is legally immoral. And yet, it seems like she's just getting away with it, which is insane to me. Let me see. Despite multiple attempts to reconcile for the sake of her child, petitioner's behavior has escalated to include physical violence, emotional manipulation, threats of self-harm, and coercive control. I am now seeking protection for myself and our son. Let me just skim past these. Like, during the relationship, the relationship got unstable. She was pregnant, and essentially Hailey Bailey was thinking about aborting the child, and DDG just wanted to be involved during the process. In June of 2023, I discovered petition attempted to terminate the pregnancy without my knowledge or consent, regardless of our prior discussions to parent the child together. On or about June 6, 2023, petitioner contacted me complaining that she was bleeding and in pain. In my effort to assist, I contacted her OBGN and learned that petitioner had attempted to abort the baby but failed to take the second abortion dose. Yeah. All this tells me is that Halo is supposed to be here. Edit out, edit out. Yeah. All this tells me is that Halo's supposed to be here, bro. Shout Halo. I know he's a little kid, but shout him. He's supposed to be here. Yeah, and this whole thing about abortion, I know in America it's been a whole problem, you know, and I don't want to get into that either. But you know, if you're going to abort, it is nice just to say I'm going to abort the baby. I understand it's your body, you know. When it comes to abortion, for me, it's like there's a certain time period where you can get the abortion, and I would be fine. If you're like 3, 4 months in, you've taken too long. At that point, for me, I'm very big on using condoms. I think they're great. You know what I'm saying? Very extremely low chance that you'll get someone pregnant. And quite frankly, if you're not confident using condoms, don't have sex. All this talk about I don't use condoms, I don't believe in condoms, but I'm gonna still mash. I'm gonna try pull out. So it's like, who do you think you are, bro? Who do you think you are? Genuinely, like if you don't want to use condoms, don't have sex unless you're ready to have a child. Simple. Let's see. We learned that petitioner had attempted to abort the baby but failed to take the second abortion dose. Following this discovery, I spoke to petitioner, asked why she would abort her child after we had agreed to co-parent together. See that's the what I was saying about if you already agreed to do something together. You decided you wanted to abort the baby. Okay, it's your body. Just call. Just call. Just tell me, yo, I'm going to abort the baby because I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not this. I'm not that. It's your body. I could tell you don't do it. If you do it, you're going to do it regardless because it's your body. You know what I'm saying? But it would be nice to know. He didn't know. He tried to, ask why would you do it, and then she threatened by demanding we reconcile or she would go through the abortion. You see me though. I can never let someone get control over me like this. The only person I could possibly allow it from is my mom. I can't lie. I won't hold you, but my mom would never even do that to me either. I just trust my mom. You know what I'm saying? But she tried. She literally not tried. She successfully threatened DDG to essentially work out whatever issues they had. Which at that point, you're not really working out any issues. You're just forcing him to stay in a relationship for the sake that you don't kill his child. And this is and he says this was the worst attempt that she had to try control DDG. You see me, like it would get to a point I would be like, no. And if you went through with abortion, sometimes you just need to call someone's bluff. You're trying to frame me, or you're gonna do the abortion. Well, I don't want to get back with you, so do what you want. Sometimes you just need to call their bluff, see what's going on. Will they actually go through it? Are they really about their word? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to. Yeah, that's just me though. Let's continue. Following this threat to abort the pregnancy, coupled with the fact that she attempted to abort without informing me, I made the decision to cut ties with her. I could no longer be subjected to her controlling behavior and wondered whether her actions may have jeopardized the health and well-being of our unborn child. Despite making it clear that I wanted out of the relationship, Petition insisted that the baby was unharmed and informed me that she began attending multiple medical appointments in an effort to reassure me. These appointments appeared to be less about transparency and more about convincing me to stay. Ultimately, we learned that our baby was miraculously healthy. Moved by that outcome and motivated by a desire to preserve a sense of family for my unborn son, I decided to reconcile with Petitioner once again in hopes of creating a stable environment for our child. There wasn't going to be any stable environment. I can see sometimes the person being like so deluded in their mind to where it's like maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that she'll change and we'll be able to create, a stable environment to, raise our child in. But nah, no, she seemed like she was gone. I can't lie. There's too many situations where things happened for me to say she'll just change like that. No. Continuing down here though. True to form, petitioner True to form, petitioner in an effort to control me once again repeatedly threatened to proceed with the abortion and or expressed regret that she had not already done so. These repeated threats and comments caused me severe emotional harm and distress. Again, at that point I'm calling a bluff. Do it then. Bro, what? Sometimes it gets so bad that it's like, no, I have to think about myself here. Genuinely. If you really want to do that, do it. Only do it. And I'm getting evidence of this as well, like physical evidence, like videos or whatever, or recordings at least. So then if something tries to bite me back, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. I've got proof that you said this and this and that. Anyway, petitioner surveillance and stalking with AirTags. Petitioner has repeatedly shown up unannounced at places of frequent, initiating public confrontations and verbal outbursts. No, that's a heavy no. That is disgusting. That's a heavy no. On or about June 16, 2023, while petitioner was pregnant, she appeared uninvited at a movie theater in Westwood where I was attending the film with a female friend. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. To be clear, this individual has been a long-standing, strictly platonic friend, and there was no romantic or inappropriate relationship between us at any time. I later discovered that petitioner had been using hidden Apple AirTags in my vehicles to monitor my location, which explains how she knew how I was that evening. Petitioner entered the theater and immediately began shouting profanities in a loud and disruptive manner for all to hear. I was incredibly embarrassed by the incident in an effort to de-escalate the situation so as to avoid further confrontation. I exited the theater with my companion. With your companion. This doesn't look good either. Petitioner then followed closely behind, continuing to shout expletives. I know what that word means, but sometimes I can't even say it properly. Expletives and directing her verbal assault at both me and my friend, referring to us as the B word and threatening to beat her ass while you're pregnant. Yeah, long. She made repeated accusations of infidelity and attempted to initiate a physical altercation with my friend, all while continuing to use hostile and inflammatory language at the two of us. Damn. This is a lot, man. This is a lot. I'm really just scanning through this just to see what else I could even say, but I can't lie. If I'm honest, I can't be asked reading all of this. I'm gonna leave the file below so you man can read it for yourselves. Oh, hold on. Petitioner's physical violence and outbursts. In or about August of 2024, petitioner had became physically violent when I refused to give her my phone. She slapped and punched me repeatedly while I attempted to de-escalate the situation. It's already gone too far, man. Before you got her pregnant, there was already signs. You got her pregnant, and it seems like this post-baby partum, whatever disorder, post-disorder, whatever it's called, made it worse. But she was already tapped in the head. It got worse when she gave birth. Like DDG again, it's like you could have left the situation, but you stayed. I don't know what type of power she had over you that you stayed, and now we're here, where you're currently going to court. You can't see your child. She's got your child. She's got power over you because of your child. Yeah, man. You let it go too far, and now I'm afraid. I don't know if you, unless you get the child, unless you get custody of a child, I don't see this ending anytime soon. Continuing though. Slightly while attempting to escape the situation. My mother witnessed the incident and intervened to get her to stop. Also present was a close family friend, Richard, baby Rich Terry, had to physically restrain Petitioner by holding her wrists in an attempt to get her to stop the assault. During the chaos, she ran off with my laptop from the garage. Petitioner repeatedly texted me and threatened to destroy it unless I answered the phone calls. Nasty work. That is disgusting. The incident arose from one of the many arguments sparked by petitioner's jealousy and mistrust over my professional content collaborations. As a content creator, streamer, video editor, and music producer, my laptop is essential to my livelihood. It contained ongoing projects, unreleased footage, and software critical to my work. This act not only caused significant financial harm, but also disrupted my ability to meet professional obligations. Attached here to as Exhibit 1 is a true and correct copy of petitioner's messages from June 2023, wherein she states my computer is broken following her belief I cheated on her. Now, I'm pretty sure the exhibit is not in here. However, there are pictures. I've seen the pictures of the messages. I'm just scrolling here now, but I have seen the pictures of the messages, and genuinely nasty work, nasty work. And again, insecurity. Like she kept talking about, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. If you don't have no trust in a person in your relationship, should you even be together? I'm sorry, bro. I get into a relationship, I'm going to be with a person that I trust full time. If I try, I'm not gonna have no insecurity because that's just stress. I hate stress. That's just stress. I'm not gonna have no insecurity, no nothing. I trust you. Whatever you do, I trust you. If I find out that you did something, I'm dead in it there because you have killed my trust. You know what I'm saying? If I ever have thoughts of mistrust, of infidelity, I'm going to have to talk to you about it. I can't just let it linger. I'm not gonna act like Haley Billy about it, but you know what I'm saying? You best believe I'm gonna get that out of the way because I'm not dealing with stress. You know what I'm saying? But all of this, oh, I know you're out there with your girls. Oh, I know you're doing this, you're doing that. If you know what I'm saying, I'm in the talking stage. You're talking about that. You talk about yeah. That talking stage is finished. It's finished, bro. Continuing. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. Petitioner consistently expressed discomfort and hostility towards my work, particularly when it involved collaborating on filming with other women. Again, that's the nature of his work. I've already stated this. The nature of Haley Berry's work. Sometimes she needs to work with other men. That's life. She refused to be part of my content and often used emotional manipulation and conflict to prevent me from filming with female colleagues despite the professional nature of my work. In contrast, I was expected to accept her participation in intimate on-screen roles, including kissing and close physical contact with male co-stars in films, without objection. This double standard created ongoing tension and further reflected the controlling and unequal dynamic in our relationship. So, again, I've stated this. I was assuming, to be fair, but DDG just confirmed my assumption. He's supposed to be okay with on-screen relations with other male actors, but she doesn't need to be okay with it. Matter of fact, she can just outright just not be okay with it. She cannot understand, but DDG has to. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not that double standards. Dead there, fam. That's if there's one thing I don't like. Well, I don't like a lot of things. Double standards is one of them. It's nasty work. Petitioner has repeatedly interfered with my work, often by initiating arguments, causing disruptions while I was recording or editing, or withholding access to necessary equipment. Petitioner would force me to edit her out of projects last minute and refuse to allow me or my family to post projects with her likeness or features after having granted consent. Her conduct severely impacted my ability to earn income and maintain stability. Notably, on August 16th, 2024, I documented one such outburst by petition as we were leaving Bruno Mars concert at the Intuit Dome, which we had attended with our son. During this incident, petitioner became upset and demanded we leave. As I was driving back home from the concert, she became verbally aggressive and emotionally unhinged in the presence of our child. She began to hit me as I was driving with our child, which, here we go, petitioner clearly had no regard for her personal safety or that of our infant sons. He's driving. What are you doing? Your child's inside the car and you're hitting him while he's driving? Why? That's why some people, I'm telling you, she was already showing signs, but she's tapped. Genuinely, if this is true, she is tapped, bro. The fact that you somehow managed to stay with her for about 4 or 5 years, even got her pregnant. Yo, if I'm DDG in these shoes, first couple of months, if I'm noticing signs, and then she actively starts doing, yeah, cut that off, man. Yeah, you're done. Finished. There's no manipulation. There's no nothing you can do to me because you don't have nothing on me. It's done, bro. This is nasty work. I ended up pulling the car over so I could de-escalate her volatility and make sure that we were safe. I recorded her outburst to preserve a record of her behavior. Ooh, as it reflected an ongoing pattern of volatility that has continued to jeopardize both my emotional well-being and our son's sense of safety and stability. I will play this recording during trial, however, attached here to as Exhibit 2 is a true and correct transcript of that recording. Okay, there, long, okay. Let me just skim past some of these. Okay, so this was recent. I think everyone is definitely well versed in this situation. Everyone who follows EDG, it should be, or Halle Berry. I can't say her name. I don't know. I keep messing the name up. But guy should be well versed on this. This is a situation where he goes to the house to pick up Halo. She's not there. It's not right. It's not right. Never mind. Never mind. It's not that. I thought it was that. It's not that. I'm just reading it here. Concerned for the safety of well-being also a common mother for guidance how to proceed during the incident. Petitioner man had talked to her and make a schedule. Then proceeded to strap me from the backseat while launching herself over the. Boy, what the hell, boy? She must think she's some type of superhero. So I'm guessing, is this how she hit herself? Because they were talking about how DDG, because she was apparently in the backseat. So they were talking about how DDG essentially, grabbed the head and essentially launched it over the steering wheel, which obviously is not possible unless she jumped to try and get DDG and DDG essentially RKO'd her onto the steering wheel, which again, that doesn't seem too possible. Yeah, she's. I don't know, man. I'm reading this. She's crazy, bro. I hate this. On B, it ticks me off. I hate this, bro. Oh my god. Eventually, I drove over petition, still in the backseat, to get to calm down and exercise my visitation. I arrived home and went inside with Halo as petitioner stayed outside to talk to my family and complain about the status of our relationship. After my mother arrived, petitioner spent time with my little sister, who eventually drove her home. At no point did she leave the premises in a state of distress or hysteria. Attached here to as an exhibit 3 is a too incorrect reflection of my injury sustained by petitioner from her attack. Oh Lord. Okay. This behaviour is consistent with ongoing efforts to interfere with my custodial rights, including unilaterally denying visitation and travelling out of town, such as an undisclosed trip to St. Lucia, which I only discovered through social media. These acts demonstrate a continued pattern of coercive control, emotional volatility, and the disregard for agreed upon parenting arrangements. Yo, and here goes this part, but I'm really trying to not prolong this video, but as you can see, petitioner's repeated threats of self-harm and suicide. Bro, on me, it gets to a point I need to call your bluff. You're not gonna force me to stay with you by telling me you're gonna kill yourself. I'm telling you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell your mom, I'm gonna tell your dad, yo, I'm leaving your child. Watch out for her. If she kills herself, it's not my fault, blood. It's not my fault. I stay with her, I might kill myself. I lied. I'd probably never do that, I can't lie. I would never do that. We were in Atlanta and an argument ensued between us. I left Petitioner as I did not want to continue to engage in a fight with her. Upon leaving, Petitioner repeatedly called me. When I didn't answer her calls, she then proceeded to text me. Attached here to as Exhibit 4 is a true and correct copy of these messages. In these messages, Petitioner is threatening to end the relationship if I do not answer her calls. Which at that point, you should have just said, end it. When I respond informing that I just want to be left alone, she threatens me, claiming she has a knife. Oh. On several occasions, Petitioner has threatened to kill herself, especially when I try to end the relationship or leave her evidence. Again, sometimes you just need to call her bluff, genuinely. About 2023, during the party divorce, argument, Petitioner became erased and rendered alive using my legal. Ooh. And she took the weapon. Long day. So okay, eventually the weapon did get safely retrieved. Following this, the petitioner proceeded to run upstairs, locked herself in the master's bedroom closet where she remained lying on the floor in an emotionally unstable state. She clearly has a lot of mental problems. If this is true, she has a lot of mental problems. Lord, I can't deal with a woman. I couldn't deal with a woman like this. It's just too much emotional baggage, mental baggage, and according to DDG, physical baggage. This is, oh my days. There's just so much. Hold on, because apparently there's proof for this one, so I'm gonna just read this real quick. On March 21, 2024, which is very recent, petitioner sent messages threatening to kill herself and made statements that suggested she might harm our son. Okay. She then attempted to drive while in an emotional distress with our child in the car. I was so concerned with Halo safety that I contacted petitioner's godmother, asking her to intervene on at least two other occasions that I can recall, one in September 2024 and another in November 2024. Petitioner sent similarly threatening messages. Attached to here too as Exhibit 5 are true and exact copies of text messages I received from petitioner. What? If in these messages, if there's proof that she said that she will harm herself and Halo, she has to go, blood. She has to go, blood. She has to go, blood. There's no way. What do you mean you're threatening your own son's safety for what? You're gonna harm your own son? What? So DDG can, yo, you know, someone said this. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know who said it. It must have been a tweet. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was a comment on a video. Celebrities don't know. In this case specifically, celebrities, Lord, male celebrities don't know how to pick their partners properly. They really don't. And look at this. It was Zion Williamson, it's DDG, and it's a plethora of other celebrity males that don't know how to pick their partners. And look at the situation DDG's in. You gave this woman a child. I'm in page 32. There's 91 pages. I'm gonna finish it here. You want to read this by yourself, I'm gonna leave the document below. I've got other things to do, man.